Oh, hello, gang. Welcome to Cat Crew Wednesday on this New Year's Eve, ending 2025 and bringing in 2026. How's everybody doing tonight? Glad to see you all in here. On this junction, Mile Railroad, James. James is here. Welcome, James. Grandpa Rails is here. JD, welcome. Todd Armstrong is here. Hey, Todd, welcome. John from Schuylkill Valley Rivers here. Welcome. I always say Schuylkill Valley. It's Schuylkill River Valley. I know that's Schuylkill Valley. And welcome, John. So, yeah, I started a little early, James, just to get it going. Thanks for the tip there. So, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody and hope 2026 is a better year for everyone. So, it's been a strange year, 2025, that's for sure. But what can you do? So, just a couple of notes here. Jim Tedesco was going to be on tonight, but he sent me a text message earlier and said his internet service went out again. That guy has more bad luck with his internet service than anybody I know. So, I wish Jim a Happy New Year too. He would have been here if he could. I don't mean on my stream. He was just going to show up to watch the show, but he lost his internet service, so we don't know if he's going to get it back yet. So, and Barbara's doing a little better. Her eye is still causing problems, and we go to the eye doctor on Tuesday to have it checked out, find out what's going on. I think they're going to have to operate on it again to get it straightened out more. So we'll see. That's my thoughts anyway. I'm not a doctor, but anyway. Large car rail fan. Welcome, large car rail fan. The first time I saw you in here, appreciate you stopping in. Happy New Year to you. Oh, that's Sladen. Very good, Sladen. Welcome. Nice to meet you. So, been tinkering around here with a lot of different things going on, and on my model railroad. And that's good, Sladen. No worries. So, my Walters turntable is still in state of disarray right now. The printer just finished. Talk about that a little bit. The part came, and it was the electronics part. Hey, internet's back on. Hey, Jim, welcome. How you doing? I was just telling everybody you were having trouble with your internet service. So, good to see you here, Jim. Hopefully it stays on for a while. So, the electronic part came. I was real excited. And the screws came with it. He put screws in there for me because the old one, that screw stripped. As I told you before, I got that tool to take them out. And so put that up there, and I got the same results. But when I was putting it up there, I noticed something, and I didn't see it when I took it out of the package. And on the electronic piece, it has 8 brass connectors, or they're pins actually. They're brass, and they're soldered onto the board, and then they come up and they go across, and then they have a little tip on it. And then underneath the turnout or the turntable, there's a round thing, round part there, and it has contacts on it. And those things are supposed to touch that to communicate with the turntable. So I noticed one of them looked bent, and I didn't think of anything of it. I just was anxious to put it up there and see if it worked. Well, it didn't. So then I emailed Walters, and then I talked to him on Monday, and he's shipping me out another one. Joe Rader's in the house. Welcome, Joe. Happy New Year to you. So, he's going to send me out a new part. And when I put that part up there, the sensor goes is also wired to that electronic piece. So that piece sensor comes out. And when I keep putting it back in there, I don't think it's incorrectly, because when I did a set home of the turnout, hey Steve, 87, welcome. How you doing? Enjoy the dinner. We'll be here for a little over an hour probably. So the sensor part has a silicone material on it, and that's what they use to keep it up in there. And I didn't want to scrape that off because I wasn't sure if okay, JD, enjoy your dinner. We'll see you later. And I think it's not letting it go up in there properly. So he's sending me a new sensor unit also, and that was shipped already yesterday. It's somewhere out in the Midwest right now, so it'll take a while to get it. I think it's going to be here on Monday, so I'll have to have all the parts available. Hopefully this one works. So that's what's going on with my Walter system, and just strange how. I mean, the thing was packaged good, and, you know, it wasn't loose or anything, and the box had peanuts in it and stuff like that. So they packaged it good, but I don't know how the part got bent, and I didn't bend it because I didn't even touch that part of the thing. All I did was solder two wires on the wire that was sticking out of the thing. So then I took it down. I was talking to him. Maybe I said I could bend it back. So I bent it back, and I tried to make it as straight as I could. It was just like when Jim bent his pins on his decoder, and he couldn't get them straight again. But I got it pretty straight. But I don't think your sensor will be here this year. No, it won't be. It'll be here on Monday. It's coming Monday. So, hey, Bob, welcome. Happy New Year to you and your family. And so that's what's going on with the turntable. So hopefully Monday, the post office will get it here. And I haven't seen any traction on it since I got to one post office. So they're probably not working so much on the day before New Year's, I guess. So Saturday and Sunday, it might make headway into New Jersey from Illinois, I think is where it's at right now. I don't know why Wisconsin takes it down to Illinois. I really don't know. So, so let me see. Okay, so while James is here, he was showing the other night on his show these lever connectors. I'm going to make myself big. These lever connectors. Okay, that's 2 in, and two out, or one, yeah, two in and two out. So you get one color, orange and blue. Then you have two oranges out, two blues out. So you can do many different things with these lever connectors, right? And these are the Waco connectors. He doesn't like these. I've had good success with these. I use both of these on my layout. These are a lot lighter than the lever connectors. They're very light, so you don't have to worry about them dangling down or anything like that. So yeah, Wago, that's right. And so I have different kind of lever connectors. I have this one, which is one in and two out, one direction and the other direction. So that's that kind. And then this one here is three different colors in and three different colors out. That's like a splice. That's that one. These here, you put one in and then they all are the same. So that's that kind. And that's that. These here are one in, two out. That's this one. And then you can connect them together and they just go together, like take two of them and put them together like that. And now you have two in and four out one. Or you can put another one together and have three in and six out, stuff like that. Many combinations you can do. So, but on James's show the other night, he showed a clip that would go into this hole on the lever connector. I put in the comments, I said, can you send me a picture, James, of that so I can 3D print them? If you can send me a photo in an email of that orange clip that you had, I'd appreciate that. That way I can see if I can 3D print them. No, this show ain't gonna run to midnight. The longest streams I've ever done were 2 hours, Bob. That would be that'd be a 4-hour show, and then I wouldn't want to take away anybody from their midnight celebrations or anything like that. So I'm not going to run. No way. I mean, I'll be up until midnight, but I'm not going to. This ain't going to be running until midnight. So this is the last show of the year for me, and everybody had their last shows earlier in the week, and the rest of the guys will be into the new year already for the rest of the week. So be right back. Gotta check my turkey chili. I'm hungry. Okay, Bob, enjoy. Okay, James, thanks. Yeah, so I did find on Thingiverse they had some kind of clip for yeah, thanks, Bob. Appreciate that comment and that nice thoughts there. Yeah, and like I said, I found on Thingiverse a clip, and but they're plate, and then a bracket goes over top of it to hold it in place. But I like the one I saw on James's show. I thought that was easy. Just clip it in the hole there, and then it screws onto the layout. Because I have a couple. Okay, James. Yeah, there's many different types, right? And I had uh, I have oh, this one here is a smaller one. I use this for like on feeders. Uh, if I had to cut the feeder wire for some reason and I needed to make it longer or something, I wouldn't change the wire. I would just clip the feeder wire in here and then put another piece of wire in here and then run that to the bus line. So you can extend wires with these two hole ones. So that's what they look like as a two hole one. That's a small one. So that clip would hold these. And I use these for my lights under the layout and all different kind of wiring things I do with my automation stuff and everything. And what I've been doing with these is all I do is I take a piece of double back tape. I have a like a 1/8 thick double back tape on it. It's a foam and then sticky on both sides. And I put that on and then I stick it up there. But the double back tape doesn't last long. It fails after a short period, periods of time. I don't know what causes it not to stick permanently, but I don't like to use it underneath on the plywood. It doesn't stick well to the plywood for some reason. So I'd rather screw these on, but I didn't have any way to do that. What I used to do was just where the wires were, I would use a stapler, a staple gun the wires to the plywood underneath, and then that would hold them up. But the double back tape, these things are dropping down. I can see them hanging there on my layout sometimes. Now, on the first level, I really don't care if the drop down because you don't see that because it's behind the skirt. But I want to get under there and lift up these and mount them to the underneath, and that's what the brackets will help me do. So, and Dwight Curley's here. Welcome, Dwight. How you doing? So that's what I've been playing around with and trying to get those things to work. So I thought since James was on the show, I saw him come in and I said, okay, I'm going to put these lever connectors up and show him and see if we can get that. Then I'll 3D print that bracket and see if it works properly. So that's I used I have carpet tape and that doesn't stick to either. It's weird. I have a roll of carpet tape. I bought it thinking it would work. I have this 1/8 thick uh, double back tape. It's white and it peels off. You need a knife to peel it off. It's so small. James told me about the stuff that he used, and I bought 2 rolls of that from Amazon. I think it was. I don't remember where I got it from, but I think probably it was Amazon. And that doesn't stick well either. So I like screwing things underneath the layout. Then I know they're going to stay there. And if I need to take it down, I just take my Dremel tool and unscrew it. It's that much easier. Like when Jim Tedesco designed the BD20 holders and the lighted holders for me, then I told him, hey, we need a hole in the middle. We put a hole in it for a screw. And then I screw that up to the bottom of the layout, and then I slide the lighted in or the BD20. It's a lot neater and stuff like that. And Tammy's still a puppy. Yeah, well, they're puppies for a while. My dog is 5 years old. I got 2 more years of him being a puppy. Labs stay a puppy for 6 to 7 years. So, but that's why they're the fun, they keep you busy. So he's in the other room, laying down somewhere. But he'll pop in here later. Don't worry. He hears my voice and he'll come. So, um, so um, I was talking to Jim today. I was telling him about a couple of things that I found was very interesting, and both of them are going to help me with my layout, one, and the other one's for my rolling stock. And the one thing is, I was working up on the 5th level, and I was getting the trains to run up there. And I have 4 trains that run up there. And I have 2 of the 4 trains fully populated with their cars again after I cleaned on the track. And they're running. And the other 2, I have a couple more cars to put on. And the oil tank car train, which is the biggest, going to be the longest train I've had. I'm still working on getting that working properly. The engines go around smooth. The track's clean. The engines go around smooth. Some of the tank cars that I have, a wheel would come off the track somewhere, I don't know where, and then I would take it off and check the weight. I did check all the weights before, but I'm rechecking the weight, make sure. And I had like 40 tank cars that I was going to put on this train. And, I might have missed one or something like that. But when I had them on my bench here, I checked the coupler heights and all that stuff. And then I was running it around, and a couple cars one of the cars would uncouple from one of the other cars. So I had to take them off and fix the couplers. So I switched them all to 2 different kind of couplers. And they're both compatible. I looked it up on the KD site, and they're compatible with each other. This is what the problem was. They were all KD couplers, but some KD couplers don't couple with other KD couplers. So you have to know which ones are compatible with which ones. So I had 2 boxes of 25 of KD 158s and 119s. And those 2 can connect and they'll stay locked together. So, so I was switching them out. I started with the 119s, got them, I used them all up. I ordered another box of 50 of 25 pair from this guy that Jim his couplers on from. But I've dealt with that guy before. Jim bought his stuff from there. He lives in New Jersey. He's eBay, and I bought other things from him. So so I replaced a couple couplers here and there. Reweighted the cars. An example, the tank cars, there's a way to open them up so that you can take the top part off, and then you can add weights inside the tank car. Well, this tank car here, which I like that deep rock black color and the deep rock on there, but this one won't come apart because the guy who had this, he glued everything. He super glued or glued the frame to the tank, which is not good because this here bottom frame, it's supposed to come off, and it won't come off. And there's supposed to be a screw in the middle that keeps this frame on. and the two screws that go into the ends here keep the frame on. But he probably couldn't figure that out, and he just glued everything. So I can't open this up because this thing. Hey, Chris, welcome. How you doing? This thing is real light, and it needs to be 4.5 ounces. So it's not heavy enough to run around the layout because it'll derail all the time. That's what happens when your cars are light. That's why they derail. So it's over here. I mean, I paid a couple dollars for that car at a train show, so I'm not crying milk over it. Just that's the way it goes sometimes, you know. So what I found, this guy was I was wondering how I can change the trucks that have this kind of truck. I don't know if you can see that. That's a truck with a coupler on the end of it. These things I hate because one thing, you can't put the light cars in the back of the train. Well, yeah, I heard that too, Joe. But I'd like to have all my cars weighted, and I'll go to when I go to Amherst, I'll find a box with $5 cars in it, and maybe it'll have one in there. But I have 9 cars that I have to fix yet to get them on the train, and so this here has a pin on it, and that leaves a big hole in your frame of your car. If we take one of these cars, like this, you can see right there. Hey, Stormy Dave, welcome. You can see the hole right there. And this guy says a lot of guys fill this up with all kinds of stuff to try and get it, and then put the screw, and the screw never stays in. So this guy came up with a really good idea. And so he told me, he said in his video, he said what he uses is a silicone hose that he used in his automotive shop. And he said it was 3 millimeters outside diameter with a 1 millimeter inside diameter hole. And I went on Amazon and they had it. So I ordered it and it came today, 3 millimeters by 1 millimeter. And I did this, put it in a hole like that, and it's too small. Because when he put his in, he had to force his in, and that's what you want. You don't want it loose like this. So this is too small. So I measured it out, and it's 4 millimeters hole, not a 3 millimeter hole. So that 1 millimeter hole, 1 millimeter, big difference. So I got a 4 millimeter by a 1 millimeter diameter inside, and it's going to fill this in. And then I'll be able to put the these kind of trucks. These are ones that I 3D printed, and I can put that on there. And then the coupler box will go onto the frame. And then I might need to put a washer in there to adjust the height of the coupler. But we'll see once I get them, the screws in to these. So that was pretty cool idea, silicone tubing. I just wish I just wish I would have got the right size and I could have had some of them done. I could have showed you tonight. So he also said that when he puts his, let me get it out again. When he puts his couplers, I tried to put Chris in my YouTube title. I can't figure it out. Oh, I'll show you in a minute, Chris. Just hang on. So um, here's you want to get this on here, and so it's right there on the car, right? It's hard to see; it's so small. But a lot of guys super glue these on, and I was one of those guys. And he says when you super glue them on, if you have to take them off for any reason or whatever, the box will break because the super glue, you know, is strong, right? So he said what he uses is a product called, let me get to my notes here. Where is it here? Amazing Goop. GOOP, it's called. Anybody ever use that? What he said was when you put that on, then you put the coupler box on there. If you have to take it off later for any reason, you can pry it off with an X-Acto knife and it'll come right off. But it won't come off when you're running the trains. So I ordered a tube of that from Amazon. That'll be here on Friday. Not tomorrow, but Friday, of course. So that'll then I can start putting them on. That way, if you put it on and say you don't want to do anything with the wheels or something like that, and you need to make this lower, you could put a box, you could put a filler on there and then mount that onto the filler, and that'll drop it down a bit. So that's what you do. So let me show Chris how to, let me see. I talked about this. Just want to get my list off. I talked about that. The uncouplers. Yeah, I talked about that. And that. Okay. So I've been 3D printing a bunch of coupler boxes and stuff like that. So, okay. Let me minimize this. I'm going to stop that sharing. I'm going to open up a new browser session. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to YouTube Studio. Now, let me share the screen again. Okay, Chris, here's how you do it, Chris. I'm on my YouTube Studio channel right now. Okay, what you do is you click on customization on the left-hand side. See it? Customization. So you got channel customization as the heading. You got profile and home tab. Stay on the profile page. Then you got your banner, your picture, your name, and your handle. This is the field right here you want to change. And right now it says model train Aficionado 7195. It's on mine. It said Thomas Grassi with a number after it before. I changed it to my legal name, Thomas R. Grassi Jr. And that's what shows up when I put a comment now. Okay, so once you save that, once you put that in there, you click on. I think it says click on. I think you have to click on publish or something like that, and then it'll publish it. And then your name will start showing up with different, with whatever you put in there. That's how easy it is. YouTube Studio. There's a way to do it on YouTube. If you go to your channel, not YouTube. Go to your channel, and then at the top you have your name up there and all that blah 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 information. Then you have customized channel right there. That's another way to get to it, Chris. Click on customize channel, and what that does is it takes you right back to YouTube Studio. So if you know how to get to YouTube Studio directly, you don't have to go around two different screens to get to YouTube Studio. I work in YouTube Studio a lot. I do a lot of things in YouTube Studio. When I upload a video, it would not save. That's because you didn't hit publish. Here, we're going to change mine. I'm going to change mine to @ Grassi. Oh, yeah, put the S on here. GRASSIEASTERN. Tom. I'm going to change mine to that. Okay. And that's weird. It should have allowed me to choose a unique handle by adding letters and numbers. You can change the handle back within 14 days. Oh, I can't change it because I changed mine for less than 14 days ago. So you only can change this every 14 days. That's what the message is telling you there. See? So cancel. So, but that's how you do it. Okay, let me try that, John. Did I have a space in there? I didn't. Oh, I know what I did. I had space Tom, right? So Grassi, EASTERN dash Tom. There it goes. That was it. I didn't have it. I had a space. That's right, Jim. Only once every 14 days. That's what it says there. Handles can be changed. Oh, it can be changed twice every 14 days. So I don't know why you want to do that. But and then you see how publish became highlighted up here. Now you click publish and it'll save it. So that's how you do it, Chris. If you have any questions, you can email me. We can work you through it over the phone or something sometimes. No problem. I stumbled across it one day and I figured, because I was getting tired of seeing all the crazy names and what YouTube did. They did that a while back, and you know, I don't know. They do things crazy sometimes. So let me bring myself back. I figure, okay. So no problem, Chris. Uh, Even if you take the 7195 off, we'll still know who you are. But you know, it's just the numbers added onto everybody's channel was weird how that showed up all of a sudden. What's the matter, Bob? Is it snowing out there? We had flurries here today. Nothing, no accumulation. So just a little flurries, but it's only computer current temperature. Thinking about it. It's 27 right now, so that's not too bad. Hey, Gerald Stewart, welcome. How you doing? So that's that. So I was also looking at another video today, and it was talking about how to set up uncoupler mounts on your layout. And this was by some of you guys probably know this guy. His name is Ian, IAN, and his channel is Chattanooga's Southern Railroad. And he used the KD magnets to put in the track, to put underneath the track, and little success with those. And I have some under the track, and they're not responding properly either. So I've been looking for another way, especially in the yard. I want to uncouple cars and stuff like that, and some spots are tough to get at and all that stuff. So what he's using is what's called earth magnets, like the earth and magnets, and they're 5 by 10 millimeter earth magnets, and you put you put one magnet. It takes a 3/16 inch drill bit, so you drill the holes along your track, and the one side of the rails, the ties can move apart, so it's plenty of room to put a 3/16 inch bit, drill a hole through, right? But the other side, the ties are tied together. So what he did was he nipped off the end of the one tie where he was going to drill. He didn't take off everything, just the end part. Then he drilled the 3/16 hole on the outside of each rail. Then he took the magnets and put them together, and then he put a red mark on each, so he knew that the polarity was the same direction, right? So what happened was, when he put them both in the holes the same way, it didn't work. So then he came back a little bit later on in the video and said that he had to put 4 of those magnets. So he added 2 more inside. And what he did was, on the right hand side, the 2 magnets have to be the same polarity, and on the left hand side has to be the opposite polarity, and that creates your magnetic field across the track. And then when he brought his cars in, they would uncouple and everything like that. So What's nice about those is they're above the track, but they're below the rail. The KD has one that inserts inside on top of the ties, but that's too bulky and too. I have the alignment tool, and I didn't put them in because I don't like the way they look on the track. It just doesn't look realistic. So I don't know if you can paint the magnets. I'm going to ask him that if he's going to paint his so you don't see them. But that's what I'm going to. I ordered a box of 30. You get a box of 30 from Amazon for like $7 or something like that. So they'll be coming on Friday or Saturday. I don't remember which day it is. And so then I'm going to start putting them in my yard and around the layout. I got a couple spots where I want to do uncoupling, and I have the signs with the M on it. I made Joe Rader some of those. He has them on his layout too, and they were 3D printed. That was one of the first things I printed on the Viper, doing multiple colors. Then after that thing failed, then I got the A1, and I did a whole bunch of them together at one time. So probably have to print a couple more because I have spots that I want to do that, and it's a pain in the neck with the tool to get the things apart. The magnet, boom, 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 and away you go. So we'll see how that comes out. But that's something that I'm going to be doing later next week once the magnets come in. And I'm really interested in getting that tested and set out and everything. So you just drill a 3/16 hole. You don't have to go all the way through, just a little bit because it's only 10 millimeters long. That's not very long. And it's a 5 millimeter diameter, which equals to 3/16 of an inch, a little bit more. Hey, Dave, welcome. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. So it's going to be a good way to get to uncouple your cars, especially with all the KD couplers on my cars that I have. They should just, when you roll over the car, the coupler, the hose should move once you get it right. So it's interesting. When you don't do things, and then you look on, you're browsing through, and you say, "Oh, look at that! That's something interesting." And they say, "I want to do something like that." Then you find out something. Then you find out how somebody else does it. Makes it easier for you to do it. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to change that. And get out of that. So yeah, so that's another thing that I'm going to be working on. Like I was talking about earlier, I said at the 5th level working. The oil tank car had three SD40-2 engines in it, and I had a couple problems with those. The one engine dying, and I found out that it was a wire on the truck. And I think I might have talked about this before, but so I got all three of them on there. And with this big train, I said, I'm going to make it have a DPU in the middle of the train somewhere. So I took one engine off out of the three on the front, and I moved it to the middle of the train, which is the middle now. But there's going to be more cars on it, so it's going to have to move around a little bit. and I don't know how many cars I can put on for the DPU, and then they won't derail. Because when you go around a corner, when you have a real long train, they have a tendency to derail sometimes. So, and I don't know if the cars are weighted properly. They won't happen. Maybe those guys are having that problem. Don't put weight in your cars. I don't know. So I'm not sure how that's going to happen. So um, we'll have to wait and see. So I said, I got to get another SD40-2. So I went searching. I found one on eBay. It was an SD40-2. It was an Atherin engine. It had a Tsunami coder in it with sound, and it was 150 bucks. So a DCC with sound, an Atherin for 150 bucks. I jumped on it. And I said, that's good. So that'll be here sometime next week. Then I can get that train finally revisited and finished up. And just have to bring it in, set all the CVs up in it, match it with the consist, stuff like that. And it'll be all set to go. So I was 3D printing coupler boxes because I needed a couple coupler boxes for those oil tank cars that are in that box, that Amazon box up above my head. There's 9 of, well, there's 7 in there. There's 2 oil tank cars sitting there. They have wheels on them already. The screw that I had fit in them, so I could get the trucks on there. But I'm waiting for the goop to come so I can get the coupler boxes on this car. So I thought I was going to need coupler boxes. So I had a bunch of files, and they weren't the one I printed. I was going to print a lid and a box. Yeah, that's a hefty price there, James. So printed a coupler box and the lid on the mini here, and the lid printed great. The box would not print at all. So I said, okay, I'm going to put the lids and the box on the resin printer and let the resin printer print it out. I printed them. I just took them off the bill plate this morning after they sat in water all night yesterday. And what happened? The boxes printed out great, but the lids were too thin, so they didn't print properly on the resin printer. So I'm printing them now on the mini just fine. So I just need 16 lids. I got 8 done, or 9 done, the one that just finished. So it only takes a couple minutes to print the lid. So yeah, the new Go 16. JD, did you get your new Shay? You had to take out a second mortgage to buy that, James. It's coming on Friday. Looking forward to seeing that in the video, JD. I don't think I could run a steam engine on my layout. I don't think it'll work. One layout, I probably could get it to go around, but I don't know. I'm more modern era anyway on my layout. So today I put on some decals on the 3D printed hopper cards that I made for a train. So I got them on the track now. I'm going to start running them around. I tested them out. They ran around without any problems. So yeah. Well, you know, the DC versions of the I have one steamer. Hey Brad, welcome. How you doing? Uh, I still have I have a steamer that I got when I was a child, but I took it apart to see how I could put a decoder in it, and let's just say it's still apart. So I'm not going to uh, mess around with that engine at all because I took the whole front apart. I didn't realize that the decoders go into the tender. So I don't know. It's up on the shelf out there. I'm not going to. Well, maybe one day when I don't have anything better to do, I'll mess around with that. DMRJ, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Hi, Dan. I guess that's who Dan is, right? DMRJ. I'll have to add that to my file. DMRJ is Dan. So, a lot of first timers in here tonight. That's good. Everybody's always welcome. So, the guy shipped out the SD40-2, and he sent it out via UPS, not the post office, but UPS. Wow, that's good. That's not too bad. That's DCC, right, JD? So that's not a bad price for a Shay. So, what was I going to say? Talked about this. Oh, so he said, yeah, yes, good, thanks. So he shipped it out yesterday because he was. It's when I ordered it. It said you go to the shipping guy down there and it tells you how many days they ship it out before you place the order, and it was going to be 2 days. Well, it was the third day, and I messaged him. I said, "Hey, you got to ship it out." He said, "I was busy at work. Sorry, I'm going to ship it out today." And he shipped it out. He created a UPS label, and that automatically shows up on my UPS app on my phone. And he accidentally created two UPS labels and had two different tracking numbers. And I said, I only ordered one thing from eBay. The other stuff I already know where that is. And matter of fact, no, that came already. So I don't, what do I need that for? Uh, James, post tariff means prior to the tariff being placed on a lot of items. That's post, prior to. So could have said pre-tariff. That might have made more sense to some people, but post-tariff means the same thing as pre-tariff. Unless he had a typo, but I understood what he meant by post-tariff. So, uh, well, JD, maybe they went up in price since you last checked them before you pre-ordered them. So a lot of things have gone up, and you have to search for deals, and that's uh, DCC ready is 425. What's the what's the brand of the BL? What's the brand of the Shay? JD, is it a BLI or is it a Bachman? What brand? BLI. Okay. So they have a DCC ready BLI, but I wonder if you can put in any decoder in that DCC ready, because doesn't BLI make proprietary boards, and they have their own decoders and stuff like that. So I don't know how compatible a DCC ready from BLI is going to be with other decoders. So maybe you'd have to take the board out and then get a buddy board to put in it, and then you can put a 21 pin decoder of choice in the buddy board. So, well, you know, it's a good many requests. Yeah, well, that's a good thing, because um, people don't, a lot of people complain about the BLI. I have one BLI engine and it runs fine for me. I don't have any problems with it. Uh, it's a switcher. I use it in my yard, and I run it in the yard, and it goes back and forth and does its thing. The only thing I don't like about their decoders is that it doesn't play the sound until you move it forward, which I don't like that. I like the sound to come on as soon as there's power to the engine. So that's what I do with mine. So one of these days, maybe I'll switch it over to a soundtrack decoder. I'll get a buddy board and put a 21 pin decoder in that engine, because the speakers are already in there. Bachman's supposed to be out this year. You mean they're going out of business, or are they going to be bringing out a new steamer or something, Joe? For any decoder? See, that's how all companies should be. Let you decide what decoder you want to put in. Oh, new Shay? Good. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the difference in price between here and in Canada. And if you could even get it from the States, your shipping up in Canada is still not good yet, right? So, yeah, so back to my eBay order guy. He decided he created two shipping labels. Then he messaged me back and said, please ignore the other one. It was done by mistake. And my app still shows it on there. And I don't think, so I messaged him again today and I said, hey, um, let's see if they got it in here showing up. I'm going to look on my, nope, they still don't. They just, the app, that's the UPS app. And it shows you the label has been created, You ain't gonna be able to see this. It's on the background, but it says shipment is ready for UPS, so that means they haven't picked it up yet. But he said just gave it to the driver a couple hours ago, and that was around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, uh, and so I don't know when it's going to get here. So, I got a box with, but it's had that here, so it didn't work. Well, you can. What's out to lunch shipping, James? Uh, I've 3D printed gears for a couple of guys before. They were resin printed though. They weren't filament printed. Okay, JD, we'll be here. So, um, it's just been a couple of things here and a couple of little things there. I'm glad I got the trains running up top. It's been a long time, and I'm waiting for the guy, the Mr. Track Cleaning guy, to um, come back from vacation. I want to talk to him about some things. But then I saw a video of shipping is bad. Okay, I get you, James. Um, I saw another video by this guy. You probably all know him. I can't remember what his name is. Um, and he showed his track cleaning engine that he did. And he took a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger, and bent it into like a U. And then on the ends, he just bent it, to make it a little thing like that. So, and then he hooked that into the ladder of the engine, and then it goes to the front, and then he took. I don't know. I couldn't hear what he was saying. I don't know. I'll have to watch the video again. He had a pad on it, and then some cloth or something, and then he just ran the engine around with that in front of it, and it cleaned his track. That was a unique way of doing it. So, and that's on a running engine. You don't have to, and then you can pull it off and take the thing off and put a clean one on or whatever. Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to do that already, James. Yeah, but with the shipping as bad as it is, too bad you didn't like the drive. Well, Mike's closer to, well, I don't know where Wisconsin is to where you guys are. Because Milwaukee, you can go right to Walters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That would take me like 10 hours to drive there from here, I think, Milwaukee. Between 9 and 10 hours, I think it is, from my house. You're moving them on Friday. Okay. From the engines, right? Yeah. Well, those are Switch 9 proto locomotives. They're Walters engines, too. Why don't you just send them back the whole engine? Let them figure it out. I am 2 hours north of Buffalo. Okay. Yeah, Buffalo take me 8 hours to get to Buffalo. So you're 10 hours away from me that day. I did that. I went to Buffalo one year in, was it in December? I think it was before Christmas to go to a wedding. We drove up late on Friday night, and I got there, and it was a blizzard up there. I was on a New York thruway going across New York State, and there was snow everywhere. And I was going real slow, and trucks were flying by like it was nothing. But we made it. So I think that might have been as long as it was. Yeah, I know. I remember that, James. Yeah, you just order from Train World, and they ship it to that person, and that person can bring it up to you whenever they come see you. Or you, well, you don't like to travel too much anymore, so they would have to come up and see you to give it to you. It's an 80-ton three-truck shed, number 81907. I don't know. Hmm. Well, oh, I know where a couple of boxes are. I put them in the curing station before the show. So that solidifies them a bit. Really? Steve, yeah, sometimes the videos take a while. It depends on your internet speed. Hey, Jim, you still out here? Is your internet still working? Maybe he fell off. Thanks, JD. Amazingly, yes. Now, one more time, Jim, and then it's time for satellite service, right? It's just a shame you guys don't have a similar situation to what I have here. That's one thing about living in the Northeast. We have a lot of options available to us here. There's cable companies in New Jersey. You got Verizon Fios. I don't have Fios here yet in my town. I don't know why they never put it in here, but uh, I have fiber into my house because I have an internet company that provides internet service to businesses and, and to individuals too. But I have a business account because I have a static IP address for my internet. So that way, when I'm out, I can get on my phone and connect to my systems here and check on things. And if you don't have a static IP address, you could enter in that IP address, but then you'd have to know what it is all the time. And when you have a cable company for internet service, They don't give you static IP addresses. And what that means is it's a dynamic address. So when you turn your modem on, it acquires an IP address. And that's a random number within their set of range of IP addresses that they can distribute out of their business, which is the cable company. And every cable modem has an IP address in it. And my internet modem, it's not a cable modem, mine is an internet modem. And it has its IP address, but it's a static IP address. There's a static IP address and a dynamic IP address. All you in the chat right now have is called a dynamic IP address. And you can find out what the IP address is by going on your computer and going into a command prompt and typing in IP config, all one word, space / all, and that'll give you your IP address. And then it'll show you the subnet mask, and it'll show you the gateway. That gateway number will be your router's IP address on your computer. So that's how you find out what your IP address is. So if you had an app on your phone and that would allow you to connect back into your system, you would have to know what that is. But you have to do that all the time because dynamic address ranges have a lease time on it. In other words, they have a timer. They're only good for 7 days, 14 days, 28 days. Yeah, 3 hours. Well, actually 2 hours and 55 minutes, James. It's 9:05 right now. But it probably took you a minute or two to type that message. But yeah, 3 hours to go. So so that's a little bit about IP addresses and stuff like that. It's just people don't realize it. That's how easy it is to find out what your address is. But I have a static IP address because I need to communicate with my phone back to my computer and do things. So, and it only, I think the static IP address costs me $5 a month to have that service. So that's not bad. So it's not like it's $100 a month for that. But my internet service, my internet provider is probably half of the cost of what you guys are paying. Oh, you're already in. Well, where are you located, Brad? What part of the world are you located? You crossed the pond. Yeah, across the pond. Yeah, 4 hours. They would be. Yeah, they already celebrated New Year's over in England. New Zealand. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's already tomorrow there. So happy New Year to you, Brad. We're behind you by a couple hours. So you said you New Year's Eve celebration. You're on here with me. That's impressive. And I watched your video of your layout. It's coming along really good there, Brad. I like the scenery and stuff. It's really done well on your layout. Those backdrop buildings make a big difference when you're doing a layout of that width. You know, you only have so much room, and those backdrop buildings look really good. I like the way you weather those things. They are real nice. New Zealand. Very good. So now, um, I don't know what else to do. Yeah, down under. You're welcome. Is Joe Rader still here? Hey, Joe. Your boxcar, this guy here, which is a nice boxcar, but it was giving me agita up on my fifth level. It didn't want to, the one wheel did not want to stay on the track. So I brought it in here. I'm thinking about changing the wheels. And on this guy, because I have my metal wheels, but these are weathered nicely. So I put a washer under the truck, and I'm going to retest it again and see how it works. So I'm going to add it to one of the trains up there again. So I had it down here. I was trying to test some magnet uncouplings, play around with. And those are two cars that go on the same train. Once I get the fifth level finished, and the yard is another level, but that's with the magnets that are coming this weekend, and it'd be good to get them in place and seeing how they work. I can't do it here and test them because this is a glass surface. I'm not going to drill a hole through glass to put magnets down through there. So I'll test it on the layout, see how it works. So that's going to be an interesting little project. But I got, what do I got? I have 5 or 6 tracks up there on my yard, and I need to be able to uncouple the cars. So if I uncouple them after I get past the turnout, and then I can push the cars in all the way or into another car or something like that. And the team track is in the back. That's hard to get to. Even though I can reach in there and get to it, but putting the tool in there to get the coupler apart is just almost impossible. Yeah. And he's not even Italian, Bob. Yeah. I have a lot of connections in Jersey, but I'm Italian, so you expect that, right? So let me see what's going on. Uh, yeah, LOL is right. Yeah, that's right. Well, Jim came from New Jersey. He's a transplant down there in Florida, New Jersey. A lot of people from New Jersey live in Florida. I still got a guy in New Jersey. Yep. That's right, Bob. I can tell you a quick story about that. I had a 1975 black Trans Am, and I lived in my town I live in now, and I was married at the time in 1976. This happened in 1977. This happened in 1977. So I had the car for 2 years. And the road I traveled was a state highway, and it was a 2-lane road. There was very little places to pass on the road. So there was a truck in front of me, a pickup truck, with front and back seats in it, bigger, oversized cab-like pickup truck. 4 guys in there. Hey, Chris, welcome. She's doing better, Bob. Thanks for asking. Oh, that's Dave. I'm sorry. Got the wrong name. Sorry, Dave. Maybe you have to change your number there, 4929, and put a dash Dave on the end of it. That way I won't get your name wrong this time. So the truck was going slow, and I got to a passing zone on the road, and I went around the truck. And it was a 20-mile drive from where I lived to work. And it took over an hour to get there because it was all slow secondary highways, not passing line roads. So I get to the town where my work is, and there's a traffic light there. And there was 2 cars, 3 cars at the traffic light already. And I'm coming up to behind the 3rd car, but before I get there, the guys in the pickup truck decide to go around me and cut me off. Now, it was a double line there, so they illegally passed, right? And as they were going by, the passenger threw a bottle of beer out the window onto the hood of my car. Now, that pissed me off to no end. And little did I not know, across the street was a shopping area. And in the parking lot, sitting and watching the intersection, was a cop. So I jump out of the car. I was ready to go over there and beat somebody in the head. And 4 guys jump out, and they're all taller than I am and a lot bigger than I am. So I just said, "Excuse me," and I got back in my car. Well, when I got back in my car, my window was down on the driver's side. The driver, I don't know which guy it was, he grabbed my arm and put it up on the roof of the car and started punching me in the face. And I was bleeding all over the place, hit me in the nose. I was bleeding all over the place. Some lady in a car driving by, screaming out the windows, "Let him alone, let him alone, leave him alone." I didn't even know who she was. Never knew who she was. Never found out who she was. So I get back in my car and I look up. Now I have a dress shirt on and white pants. Okay, so blood got all over my, blood was dripping all over the place. I had pants red. It turned into red pants instead of white pants. So I drive up to the cop. I knock on the passenger window. I never go to the driver's side of cop car. I always go to the passenger side of the window. I knock on the window. He rolls down the window. Can I help you? I said, and I'm standing there. I'm still bleeding. And I go, didn't you see what happened? Why? I said, guys jumped out of their pickup truck. The guy skidded in the middle of the street there and cut me off and grabbed me and started punching me in the face. No, I didn't see anything. I said, okay, thanks a lot. So I called up my buddy Joe, and I had the license plate number of the truck. I gave him the license plate number, but that truck ended up being in the junkyard the next day. So they got karma, got back to them. So that was how that worked. So I just have to call Joe, and Joe takes care of things for me. Not Joe Rader. So, hey, Edward, welcome. How you doing up there in Vermont? Bet it's cold up there too. So that's my story about contacts. So if you know somebody, it's good to know somebody. I only had to use that once. Nobody messed with me after that. So, well, guys, it's 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. Almost 2.5 hours to go. I can go on a little longer if you want, but I'm running. I usually write down the things I want to talk about. I start writing them down on Monday. You know, things. I'm not going to remember everything I want to write down, and that way, when I talk, I have something to talk about and stuff like that. And it's always something different, never the same thing, unless it's a reoccurring problem, like the Walters problem. That's been reoccurring for going on a month now. So and there's a lot of people in here tonight. So anybody going anywhere, or is everybody? I'm staying home. I'm not going out anywhere. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, yeah. You don't mess with Mother Hubbard, right? So, Bob, I was only ever in 2 fights when I was a kid, and I won both of them. I went undefeated. That's why I stayed. Never got any other fights after that. One was in grade school and one was in high school. That was it. After that, no one messed with me. Grade school kids never bothered me. They didn't mess with me. They're all my buddies and everything. So be in bed before the ball drops. Now, I've never done that. I always stayed up for midnight. I'm not interested in watching anything out of New York City, that's for sure. I'm hoping somebody else has something on the East Coast as a New Year's Eve. Oh, you're working second shift. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you saying that on the other stream the other night. Yeah. Yeah, I used to work second shift for a job once. That's the worst of them all. I would take third shift over second shift if I had a choice. I worked all 3 shifts at different jobs. I was a security guard for a couple of companies a long, long time ago as a part-time work, and I had to work the third shift a lot, sometimes second shift. Apple cider. There you go. Yeah. Nah, I don't either. I always been up. When I lived in Key West, that was the best place to celebrate New Year's Eve. The whole town is out, and a lot of people come in, and they have three places where what they call the ball drops in Key West. They have um, they have a new ball again this year. Yeah, yeah. They have a lot of nuts there too, Jim. Um, the three places is one is across the street from Sloppy Joe's. Then out on the pier, there's a wench, a girl, they call it a wench, and she spins around the mast coming down at midnight. Uh, the one at Sloppy Joe's, I don't remember what that is anymore. And then they have a shoe at the other end of the Wall Street that drops down. So there's three places you can go. You just got back from Key West? Yeah. Well, I lived there, Steve, for 3 years. And I was there for three New Year's Eve nights. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. You don't have to pay for, well, you have to pay, you know, you don't have to pay to go to Key West. You could just drive down and go down there for just that day. But I don't know how much you want to try to drive out of there after midnight. I did a lot of midnight runs out of Key West back to mainland, many a weekend. I was dating a girl up in what was the name of that town? Port St. Lucie, and I'd have to leave, after work on a Friday, and then I would drive up, spend the weekend, and then come back. But I would leave late on Friday night. By the time it's a 2-hour drive from Key West to Homestead, Florida. It takes 2 hours to get there from Key West, and that road it's 125 miles from Key West to Homestead. And it takes that long because a lot of the roads, you have the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the Gulf of Mexico on the other side, and not much in between. So, and they're 10-mile-an-hour roads, 15-mile-an-hour roads, 20 miles an hour roads. There's only 2 or 3 spots where the speed limit is 55 on, that's Route 1 that goes. Yeah, Port St. Lucie, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm still friends with that girl. She's on my Facebook thing, and we say hello every once in a while. She's reason why uh, it was really weird. She was from New Jersey. That girl, when I was dating her, I dated her for a couple months, um, and she had a motorcycle. I had a motorcycle, so we had a lot in common and stuff like that. So it was. But she came from New Jersey. She comes up to New Jersey. After I came back to New Jersey, I saw her. She came back to New Jersey. I went down to meet her, and she was in South Jersey somewhere. I went down to meet her. Her and her friends down there had a good time. Stuff like that. Oh yeah, that's right, Bob. Um, those bridges are now not in use. Um, a lot of people um, get on those bridges and they fish off of the pier, off of the bridges. They fish off of them. Some you can walk out on, but some are it's hard to get to. You would have to get on a boat to get to the thing, but I don't know how you would climb up to the top if you wanted to get up to the top. It's just, yeah, Flagler's Railroad. That's correct. Yep. It's they have some things in the museum down there about the railroad. When I was down there, I was in saw that, and you can see the railroad tracks and stuff still there on that bridge, but they haven't had trains running down there in many years. I think a hurricane took that bridge out once or twice. I don't remember. Not a fan of bridges, huh, Dave? No. Wasn't that the former railroad bridge? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And so it was interesting stuff. I don't know, Bob. Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. Uh, I mean, that was great. You know, those all those keys from Homestead, and then you have all the keys that get all the way down to Key West. There's so many of them. I don't remember all the names. Like there's Big Pine, and then there's Stock Island, and then there's a couple others on the way. And yeah, it would be to do by a drone, right? I'm sure somebody's done it already. Yeah. Well, how about the bridge that goes from Delaware to Virginia? That's a hell of a bridge too. That goes underwater and then above water. It does that in a couple of places along the bridge. I think it's like 30 miles or something like that. That bridge. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting bridges in the United States. A lot more crazy ones over in China I've seen. So um, yeah, so they take yeah, the hurricanes down there do a lot of destruction sometimes. I know. I lived through 10 of them. I know what they're all about. And some people in Florida never even seen a hurricane. They're lucky ones. Oh yeah, the Bay Bridge Tunnel. Yep, that's right. A couple times. Yeah. Okay, Bob. Thanks for stopping in. Have a safe and happy New Year, and we'll catch you later. Yeah, that's a scary one too, Dave. I was on that bridge too. Hey, Spence, welcome. Yeah, that can't be fun. Yeah, getting stuck anywhere, Dave, is not fun. Well, that bridge that goes from Tampa to whatever the town is, Jim would know, before it was taken down. I was on that bridge on a motorcycle. That's crazy. Going over that, the wind on that thing is crazy. Hey, Russ, welcome. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, bridge just bouncing. That's right. Skyway Bridge, right? That's the one. Yep. Well, Here in New Jersey, we have the tunnels that take us into New York City, and that's crazy going through them things too. My uncle worked on the Holland Tunnel. He helped build that when he back in the day. They have the Holland Tunnel and the Lincoln Tunnel, and then there's the tunnels for the subways and not subways, the tunnels for the trains. They're not vehicle tunnels. They're for trains only. So I've been in all of them because when I commuted into the. Okay, Joe, thanks for stopping in. Say hello to Tammy for you, and have a safe and happy New Year to you. Yeah, so when I was commuting into New York City by train, I would go through the train tunnels, and we got stuck on them too in the middle of the subway. I think I told you guys about that. It wasn't no stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel. Yeah, the Lincoln Tunnel. After we had what they called a hurricane up here, and gas stations were closed, and power was out for days, and all that stuff. And I went to work in Manhattan, and the only way I could get into work because they were forcing people that drove into New York City. You had to have more than one person in a car. You couldn't drive in the city unless you had 2 or 3 people in the car. And I didn't have nobody to go with me, so I took the bus in, and we got stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel right in the middle of the tunnel, halfway through. No traffic because there was an accident at the end of the tunnel. 2 buses collided at the end. What a mess. So we're in the middle of the tunnel, and I get on my cell phone to call my boss saying, hey, I'm going to be late, and no cell service. Couldn't call nobody, couldn't do nothing. So I'm going, okay. 2 hours go by, and I said, I had enough of this. So I couldn't call nobody to do anything, so I got up and did myself. Got up, walked up to the front of the bus, told the bus driver, open up the door, I'm getting off. He says, I can't do that. I said, you're going to open the door or I'm going to open it for you. After I said that, about 7 or 8 other people got up to say, we want to get off too. So he opened up the door, the whole bus piled out. So we're walking through the tunnel, and it's like, I think a tunnel is a couple miles long. So we had about a mile or 2 mile walk to get out the other end. So I get out, start walking, and a news crew's there for the accident. And they hear all the people. Now, other people in other vehicles started abandoning their vehicles and just saying, to hell with it, we're getting out. And they started walking out of the tunnel with me, So I'm leading all these people. And as we're walking out, the news crew comes over to me and starts interviewing me. And I, explain what was going on and this and that. So I didn't think nothing of it. So from Lincoln Tunnel exit to my office is about a 45 to an hour walk. Okay. So I walked out, get to the office, and I get to the office, and my boss says, where the heck were you? Yeah, what happened? You know, he knew the hurricane happened. He knew, you know, what happened. You know, what's going on. And I look up, and we had these big TV screens all around the office. And on a TV screen, my interview is being broadcast over TV screen. And I go, oh, there I am. That'll explain it. He looks around and he looks and goes, oh my God, you were on TV. Yeah. And so that was pretty funny. And then see, we were a small consulting company we had an office in a big financial company. And the people in the office, there was big screen TVs out there too. They would watch, you know, the stocks and all that stuff. That's how they did their work and stuff. But then the news came on, and then I was on there. They all started coming into my office and, hey, you were on TV, you were on TV. And they were all pointing at me and everything. It was pretty funny. But that was my experience. Every day trying to get into the city that time with the power being out in a lot of places in New Jersey it was a nightmare to get there every day. So, and you know, the boss said you got to get here. You know, I said okay. So I got there. I didn't say what time I was going to get there. It took me 4 hours to get to work that day. Normally it takes me an hour. With the trains, it's an hour. I took 4 trains every day. And each train was only one train stop. So I get on a train, go one stop, get on another train, one stop, get on another train, get one stop, and then the last train, one stop. So I was always constantly moving. So that was one passenger train and 3 subway trains to get to the office from where I lived at that time. So I was the last stop before Secaucus. Secaucus is a big train station, and then from Secaucus it goes into Manhattan. So it goes Secaucus straight in through the tunnels and into Penn Station. And I was one stop away from Secaucus, so I would get the train. The train was usually filled. I would find a seat because I was only by myself. Get on the train, go to Secaucus, get off the train, get on another train going into New York City, and then get on. It was 2 trains and 2 subway trains. That's what it was. Yeah, 2 trains, 2 subway trains. So, and you can't fall asleep, you know, on the train because you only got one stop to go. So it was a long one stop going from Secaucus to Penn Station. That was a long one stop. Though. It wasn't like my town to yeah, modern day Moses, right? My town to Secaucus was a short run. It was only like a 5-minute train ride to get there. Then you had to run through to get down to the platform where the train to go to Penn Station come in, and yeah, I would run to each train to get to it so I can get on it. So I wasn't standing around waiting for trains to come. And that's how I made it in less than an hour into Manhattan. The people that lived in Manhattan took longer to get to work than I did. So go figure. So yeah, it does. It was crazy, but that's how you commute, you know. And I wasn't the only one doing it. There was millions of people every day commuting in and out of that city. Yeah, leading a bus to the promised land. That's right, Dave. That was pretty fun. Yeah, but we were all pissed off because you know the cops were there. The buses that crashed were still there at the entrance. That was hours and hours after the buses got moved away. They couldn't move away because they had to triage all the people and put them in ambulances and get them off to the hospital and stuff. So, but see, I used to walk from Penn Station to Grand Central Station. That was like a 15 to 20-minute walk. That wasn't too bad. But from Lincoln Tunnel, which is further down the road. No, Joe Rader left, James. He departed about 15, 20 minutes ago. His Tammy needed the attention. He wanted to play with Tammy. So, uh, so those are, I have many experiences, and I could talk all night long about traveling, going different places in the world and stuff like that. But everybody has their own stories about stuff like that. So, but I always had interesting things that happened, and it was never a dull moment, if you will. Want to print my logo on decal paper. Well, I use what I use is Word. No, I don't use Word anymore. I don't have that anymore. But that's what I used to use, Word, and I would make up the artwork on there. And that's how I made my decals for my container cars and stuff. What's your logo on, James? Is it on? Is it what kind of file is it? All you got to do is print that on your printer that has a color printer. If you have a color printer, you can print it on decal paper. It's a PDF. Okay, so you should be able to. You can print the PDF directly to your printer. If you have a color printer, that's all you need, and you can print it. I get my decal paper from Amazon. If it's an inkjet printer, after you print it, you have to spray this stuff on it. It's the gloss clear. And you spray this on your decal, because if you print on an inkjet printer with decal paper and you take it and cut it and put it in water to take the decal off, it dissolves the ink. The water just destroys the decal. So you have to first spray it with this stuff, then let that dry, and then you can cut it up and put it in water and take the decal off. So that's how you do inkjet. Laser jet decal paper, you just take the printer, take it off the printer, and you can cut it, and it works. You don't have to spray it with anything. But the inkjet, you do. Oh, you want to edit the PDF file? Uh, there's programs out there that edit the PDF file. Yeah, That's okay, Russ. I always like to give out good information if I can. Like I say, Russ, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. Um, I don't know if I want to prep file for 6 images per page. Yeah, that would be nice, depending on how big it is. See, like in a Word program, you can copy the image and paste it, and you can make a lot of the same image. Then when you print it, you have all those images. Yeah, I understand, Jim. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to articulate your issue with to someone else. I understand that, especially typing it in. Okay, John. Thanks for stopping in. Happy New Year and happy birthday to you. All right, gents. Well, people are dropping off now. I think it's time to. I own Photoshop. Just forgot how to use it. Well, there you go. That's a program that you can use to manipulate the file with. I used Photoshop a long time too, but I don't have the program. I have Adobe's programs, but I don't have the license for the programs, and they're expensive products, and they'll do all that kind of manipulation of PDF files and documents and stuff like that. But I don't know. Yeah, you have the pro version. Yeah, uh, time to relearn old trade there, James. Photoshop. I worked at a newspaper. I don't remember what year it was. A long time ago. Oh, in 1990, 1998, 90, yeah, 1998, to 2001. I worked at the newspaper. 98, 98 and 99, somewhere in that area. And they all used Photoshop to paginate the pages for the newspaper. That was a fun day. And Dave is going. Okay, Dave, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night and a happy new year to you and your family. Yeah. All right, Edward. Thanks a lot for stopping in. Appreciate you. Happy New Year to you and your family. Have a good one. Stay warm. All right, people. Well, I'm going to end the stream now. I want to thank everybody for stopping in. I hope everybody has a safe and happy New Year, and hope to see you all again soon. And everybody, take care. No outros or intros tonight. This is just about us guys. So have a good one, and we'll catch you all in the new year. Take care and be safe.